What's up, everybody? Azario here for another Yu-Gi-Oh! 1-on-1 video. And this one is going to be regarding the January 1st, 2014 Forbidden and Limited list um, coming just next month, of course. And it's coming very early next year. Now, let me just be honest with you. I had no clue that they were going to do a ban list this early because for me normally they all I know is that they did them once every 6 months, in March and then in September. I had no knowledge of them making one so early for this. Let's see, September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, like this is only like 4 months of wait in between the last ban list. So I don't know if they're going to start doing these every 4 months or what. I don't know if are they just doing this just to update the ban list quick, or it's just certain cards they don't want to use and they just felt like it was an emergency. I don't know if this is going to be something that's going to be reoccurring. I don't know. I don't know what the new plans for these are, and yeah, I just don't know what's going on. But I found out about this from just seeing like the titles of a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh videos or Yu-Gi-Oh videos from channels that I'm subscribed to, and I just decided to go check it out to see if this was just like some wannabe leak ban list. Because I told myself I would never do another leaked ban list ever again. Because most of the time those things became inaccurate, and when the official ban list did come out, it was nothing like the leaks. And I just like, you know what? I'm done with it. I'm tired of running around trying to see any type of early look unless it's officially put up on the Konami website. And I came here and it turns out it was true. So another thing, I did take a look at the band cards, not all of them. I did take a look at some of the band cards, but as far as the ones that got limited and the ones that are now unlimited, if any, that is completely unknowledgeable to me. So without further ado, let's take a look at what these do, or what's been placed on here. So for the newly banned cards, Dragon Ravine is gone. No surprise there. Return from a different dimension. No surprise there. Self-destruct button. No surprise there. Sixth Sense. Really no surprise. So, um, as far as the limited, as far as like the semi-limited cards or the limited cards, Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos. No surprise. Debris Dragon. Not really a surprise, but I don't really see the issue with it, not unless they have some new stuff coming out. Magician of Faith, they brought her back. Surprise, surprise. Uh, Red Ox, Dragon of Bowlers, Tempest, Title, um, Divine Wind of Mist Valley, Foolish Barrier. Final Countdown. Uh, Sacred Sword of Seven Stars, Spellbook of Fate. So all those been limited. Ones that have been semi-limited, Chaos Sorcerer, Lone Fire Blossom. No surprise to either one of those. And the ones that are no longer on this list, Archlord, Christia, Mizuki, Plague Spreader Zombie, TG Striker, Tour Guide from the Underworld, Constellar, Ptolemy, M7, and Tinky. So, first off, let's start with the banned monsters. All this shit is accurate as fuck. Now, forgive me if I don't, know of any other cards. Mind you, it's certain builds that I don't go up against for obvious reasons, like that I explained before. I just think it's boring and repetitive going up against the same thing. And when I do duel for like my fan day and anything like that, I try to keep it fresh and innovative for you guys so that you can actually be interesting in watching something, you know. So it's certain builds that I just refuse to go up against. And if I ever go up against those builds, I just quit the duel and just say fuck it, and move on to the next one. But as far as Dragon Ravine being banned, Return from a Different Dimension, self-destruct button, and 6 cents. First off, 6 cents should have never came back into the game to begin with. That is by far the most broken piece of shit ever. Literally, that is by far the most broken card. It's right up there with fucking Chaos Emperor Dragon. It's certain cards in this game that should never be made, and 6 cents is one of them. And they need to keep that on the list and don't ever try to pull no slick shit like that ever again. Keep it on the ban list until they feel like they want to get another boost of money, and and then they're gonna bring it back. But self-destruct button, it was another one of those cards. People were making troll decks, and it's really simple to use, and for people to get draws simply off of literally lowering their own life points or just raising their opponent's life points like that, it was really ridiculous, and it was little to nothing that can be done about it. It's like once it's activated, better hope you have, like, nobody really plays cards like Seven Tool or the Bandits anymore because the game has gone, beyond that to where that really isn't enough. And yeah, I'm just happy that's going. At least this way you can get a definitive winner in the game. Return from a different dimension and Dragon Ravine. People were abusing the hell out of. Well, obviously, like, you can't abuse cards like uh, Return from a Different Dimension, but you can basically blame Dragon Rulers for both of those being gone. And I'm gonna leave it at that. As far as the cards that were limited, I agree with all this. Those dragon. I said this during the September. Like way back in August, like before the September ban list hit. All the dragon loot rulers should have been limited, and they finally did it. Those cards are broken. They are unbelievably retarded, and people, need to quit being mad when you see something wrong with the game and you speak out on it. They're like, oh, you're just mad because you can't beat it. I've beaten several Dragon Ruler builds before. It's simply unfair for certain archetypes in this game to be able to do so much so easily. You know what I mean? And cards like Dragon Ruler, if they didn't limit these cards, obviously it was. If they limited these cards, obviously there was some like-mindedness going on between, like the players and Konami. Like, you don't limit cards that people don't have a problem with. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not a big of an issue, you don't need to worry about it. Obviously, there was a problem with the Dragon Rulers, and they needed to do something about them, and that's why they're limited now. All they need is one anyway to really be effective. So to have multiple copies of those, I'm glad they came to their senses and finally limited those damn things. Keep those babies banned, damn it. And Magician of Faith, I kind of agree with that. It's a helpful card. You're able to recycle spell cards, and it's not that big of a deal these days. To be able to recycle a spell card. It's quite difficult, and I think that'll make it easier. And it's a good way to test to see what people are going to do with Magician of Faith. Yeah, so simple as that, man. I'm glad they brought back one of those classic. Now with Debris Dragon, I don't really know what the issue was, why they limited that. So if somebody knows about that, maybe you can tell me. I personally don't see a problem with Debris Dragon as to why they would limit it. But as I said before, maybe there's some new cards coming out that maybe Debris Dragon would have been able to take advantage of, and they felt like they wanted to limit this card early, just like they did with with the previous ban list. It was a bunch of cards coming into the game that obviously nobody knew at the time, and a bunch of cards that got banned ahead of time, so that there wouldn't be any unfair advantages with those cards that got banned. And it didn't really make sense to everybody as to why those cards got banned until the new cards came out, and cards such as Monster Reborn. And this is just another. This could be just another example of that happening. So unless somebody actually knows why Debris Dragon got banned, that's just what I'm going with. because I don't really see like the big problem with it personally. Uh, Divine Wind of Mist Valley, another one that I'm not too sure about. Final Countdown. I mean, you pretty much all you need is one for that anyway, considering that you have to go up against a bunch of cards that can stop your opponent from attacking. You know what I mean? That's one of those things. But I'm pretty sure there's some other reasons why that card left. Could be the same reason why I said the Bree Dragon was limited. They was thinking ahead of time, and maybe Wind of Mist Valley is the same thing. I haven't seen these two cards really be, abused like that, but maybe you guys know something that I don't, because I don't understand why those two got banned. So that's what I'm going with. Now with Divine Wind of Mist Valley, matter of fact, I know it's certain builds that can take advantage of that effect, but I don't. But I'm not sure if it was like so bad that they needed to limit it. So could be another one of those thinking ahead type deals. Sacred Sword of 7 stars, Dragon Rulers. I'm gonna just chalk it up to that Spellbook of Fate. I'm gonna let you be the judge of that one. Um, Semi-limited card, Chaos Sorcerer. You really didn't really need to be limited at the time, and I guess it needed to be limited, but it's not that big of a deal, anymore, because people are barely playing chaos builds anymore anyway. Lone Fire Blossom. I said this during the September 1st Banlist predictions, that they need 2 Lone Fire Blossoms now. It's not that big of a deal. There's a bunch of plant type monsters in the game that aren't easy to get out on the field like that, and plants don't really have that much support in terms of trying to swarm the field. You have to have the cards already in your graveyard, and I think having 2 Lone Fire Blossoms is fair at this point in the game. So that was a wise move, in my opinion. It could be some other reasons that you guys know of. Feel free to speak on it. Mizuki, Plague Splitter Zombie, TG Striker. Those cards are finally catching a break. Tour Guide from the Underworld. Only on the semi-limited list for a short period of time anyway. M7, same reason for Tour Guide, on there for a short period of time. Tinky, don't really know why the hell it was semi-limited to begin with. And Archlord Christia, that's a whatever. Mizuki, not a problem in this game anymore, especially when you have zombies that can work very well without it, in cards like the Vampire archetype. It's nothing. It's certain cards that are just not that big of an issue anymore. So what's the use of keeping them on the list? Again, Tinky, to this day, I don't know why they had it on a semi-limited list to begin with, but it's unlimited now, so it's like at 2 it wasn't that big of a problem. 3 it definitely gets no argument from me, and I don't even use I don't really use any cards that can really, well, outside of the Boojins, I don't really use any cards that can, use that card. So as far as everything happening on here, I agree with Lone Fire Blossom at 2. That's helpful for all the plant type builds out there, even though there literally are very few. Because the Shinras or the Sylvans, don't, as somebody told me on Dueling Network, why the hell did they name it after that damn that school tutoring program that you probably see advertised on television? Is beyond me. Why the TGC gave the Shinras that name, but Lone Fire Blossom is cool. All of the cards that are no longer on the list, I agree with those. Some of those I just feel like it was about time. Some of those I'm confused about as to why they were on there to begin with, like Tinky. Lone Fire Blossom, been said that was eventually going to happen. I just thought it was going to have to wait till March probably, because Lone Fire Blossom isn't that big of an issue to where it needs to be at 1. So I'm glad it's at 2. You know, so let's see what happens with that. Chaos Sorcerer. Again, nobody's really playing Chaos builds anymore. It's not really that big of an issue. Um, Sacred Sword, 7 stars. Spellbook of Fate, pretty obvious. Divine Wind of Mist Valley, that confuses me. Final Countdown, don't really care. The Dragons, about fucking time. Sixth Sense, keep that shit on the damn list. Self-destruct button, return from a different dimension. Blame Dragon Rulers. And Dragon Ravine, blame Dragon Rulers. And that's basically it, man. So let me know. So one, I'm gonna have the link to this list in the video description. Uh, Tell me if you guys think this is a good one. I personally think it is. Uh, if somebody can inform me as to if this is gonna be like some type of reoccurring thing with Konami, or if they're gonna keep doing ban lists every 4 months instead of every 6 months now. Um, somebody inform me of that. I don't know what's going on as to why they feel like they need to do this early. But I'm not arguing. Like I'm just confused as to why they're doing it every 4 months, or why it seems like they're doing it every 4 months instead of every 6 months. I thought we was gonna have to wait till March, but looks like that's not an issue. So yeah, man. Link to this list will be in the description. You guys can check it out, and I'll see you guys for the next Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 video. Until then, peace.